Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Apologies for that little bit of overlay mishap. As you can see, my very extensive conversation there of rhyme. Apparently, as you saw there, blackout is not blackout. For some reason,
Cook, which we did actually get told.
We knew it was Cook.
But if you're going to put your name as Blackout,
then
we'll call you Blackout.
I mean, come on. I mean, what are we going to do about that? But anyway, so this game, Choke Gaming versus Steve, which is essentially Dupe Stack versus Dread Stack. I'm gonna go with.
Is that what you're gonna go with? You're gonna go Dupe Stack versus Dread Stack.
Actually, I guess Nepali's the captain, so it's Nepali Stack versus Dread Stack. We'll go with. But anyway, so these two teams, what are we seeing? Well, pretty much same old, same old. We're seeing Queen of Pain getting through the draft this time, and we're gonna see a bit of Visage play from the side of Steve. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that one goes down here for the team. Bans, nothing too much out of the ordinary. We're actually seeing a Bloodseeker ban come out from the side of Steve, and Choke Gaming now with their 4th pick. What are they going to go for now? They've already got their mid hero, they've already got the support and the off lane.
So another support and the carry. What have we seen picked up so far?
What else is...
Rubik's been picked up a couple of times. Nice combination with the Lina as well if they wanted to go for that.
Who else is available still? We could see potentially...
we've seen a lot of Ember Spirit. It's the first time we haven't seen the Ember Spirit.
We have seen a lot of Ember indeed.
Nepali Jesus. Does he play Ember Spirit? It's who's been playing? It's BW, isn't he? He's been playing a lot of the mid, and oh my god, it's support Naga Siren. Relax. Relax.
You sure?
They need.
Are you sure?
I think it's support Naga Siren. They can use the net to link in with the Lina as well for the stun.
You think support?
It's a nice setup.
It could be a position 1 Lina.
It's also nice for just resetting the fight, especially against heroes like Tusk and Earthshaker and Queen of Pain. You can just pop the song, reset the fight, get yourself into position. Darkseer, perfect vacuum into the Winter's Curse, and then you can set up some serious combos. So I actually quite like Choke Gaming's draft at the moment. But who won first game? Did we actually find out?
We did not find out. I will check the Steam messages, so apologies for the overlay that's going to be broken now. Choke. There we go.
Choke did win the first game. Okay, so if they win this one, they're going to be heading on through, and Steve will be going down to the lower bracket.
Right, okay. So Clinks has been banned out here from the side of Steve.
Ooh, Visage pickup. Do you maybe ban the Drown out? They're actually going to ban the Medusa, and we said that we had a little tip-off. Dread been picking that Medusa, and would have been alright with the Visage. Still the Drow Ranger in there if you wanted to go for the Illidan VP strat.
I would have liked, I mean, obviously Medusa would have been nice, with the Stone Gaze, and they've got, of course, the Sonic Wave pure damage. So if you can get a Stone Gaze on people in a very nice position, it's going to allow you to get a very easy multi-man Sonic Wave off. 5th pick here, as you said, Drow is still in the pool. I mean, there's not a huge amount of gap closers here on the side of Choke Gaming. I mean, I guess they've got the Surge, the Net. If they get a Yules and Lina, potentially, I mean, Drow could work here. They've got a Quap as well, so another ranged core. But it depends what I can't remember what kind of stuff Dread likes to run. We might see something a little bit more funky here. So, well, thinking about this one here. 5th pick.
I mean, it is going to be their safe lane farmer. They're not going to run the Queen of Pain in the safe lane.
Well, they could do. I mean, you say they're not going to for sure, but I mean, if Tusk and Earthshaker want to be mobile around the map, they want to roll around. We could see kind of an S4 style Quap, being played on the safe lane. I guess it's going to be. I mean, I'd imagine it's going to be Tusk on the solo offlane and Earthshaker roaming rather than the other way around. I guess they could swap it around if they want ES to soak up the solo XP, but I feel Tusk's just a little bit safer in the offlane and can benefit a little bit more from it. And having Earthshaker, pressure around the map, maybe trying to make the mid easier.
To be fair, they might just run an offlane dual lane with the Tusk Earthshaker. I'd quite like to see that. I think that'd be quite strong.
Yeah, it's 5th pick still. They're taking their time here with this. I mean, that's going to be the Wind Ranger. Okay, we're still available in the pool. We've seen it being banned out a few times, but in pretty much both games where it's been left untouched, teams have been favouring picking it up here as the final pick, and it is a very strong hero and a very strong pick. Especially if you're able to get it up at this point, and in terms of the laning stage, kind of regardless who they send mid against this Wind Ranger, which I imagine is going to. I mean, it could be a safe lane farming Wind Ranger, but with a Wind Ranger Quap, do you think we're more likely to see the Quap in the safe lane and the Wind Ranger in the mid?
Yeah, I imagine we're more likely to see the Quaps head towards the safe lane.
Yeah.
Windranger just in the mid lane is just really, really nice, really strong. Pretty good against the Lina as well. The only issue is, obviously, Windranger does have very, very low, like a very low HP pool, no real escape mechanism as well. So as soon as Lina does get that ultimate online, it is going to be kind of risky for the Windranger to stick around in the lane on low HP. Whereas obviously Queen of Pain can blink away and can roam around the map, maybe do a little bit more. Whereas Windranger's just going to be sitting in that mid lane farming. But we'll have to see. I mean, we'll be able to see as soon as the player combinations come out and they start picking their heroes. We should be able to work it out. And well, last pick now for Choke Gaming. If this is a Naga Siren support, then they are looking for their safe lane farmer. And well, Ember Spirit, like we said, still in the pool. But what would you really go for here? Do you want something that's maybe going to combo nicely with the Darkseer and the Winter Wyvern?
I'd like the Ember.
They've got the setup.
I'd like the Ember.
You go the Ember.
Yeah, as you said, with the vacuum, with the Winter's Curse.
Yep.
Ember's going to be nice, but it's going to be the Razor here. So kind of, you know, this is kind of a bit kind of EG style here, I feel. This is very EG style. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a huge fan of kind of the Razor core, but...
Didn't like it. No, I have to agree with you. I wasn't a big fan. I mean, one of the nice things about it is you can, you know, pop down the song and get a full static link off, which is always going to be nice.
And with the net as well, they've got ways of setting up a good long static link. But at the same time, you know, with stuff like the Wind Run, you know, Visage with the control with the Familiars, holding back the Razor, Blink, of course, on the Quap, you've got to be careful of how you go in with the static link if you want to get a good usage of it off. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Razor works, but at the same time, it's certainly one of those heroes that if you can find the momentum early on, you know, Razor is going to be very nice for the pushing for the earlier skirmishes once he gets that level 6 online. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes off. A little bit of banter here between the sides, but we're just going to have to wait here as we've got a current DC on the side of Choke Gaming. But of course, Choke Gaming going into this one, game 2 of the best of 3 with a 1-game advantage picked up so far.
The all chat. It's a good job we're not here with Riot and
I was going to say, do you know about that? Yeah, in Riot you get freaking penalised. I think they...
Penised.
What do you mean?
I swear you said penalised.
Penalised. They fine you if you're part of.
Yeah, there was the guy that because you can press PP for like please pause, and someone pressed PPP and got.
Yeah, and I think it was GG. I think he put like 3 Gs or something, and because it's not on the list of words that you're allowed to say.
I mean that's too extreme, isn't it? That's crazy.
It's a different world.
I think a bit of all chat, bit of flame.
Yeah, especially in
adds
UK
to the
Dota.
flavour of the game, especially in UK Dota.
You need something to spice it up, and that'll do it for these two teams.
One of the characteristics of UK Dota, of course.
It's, at the end of the day, you know, there's going to be hopefully a bit of tension between these sides. You know, hopefully we'll see some people go out for a hill fight. You know, a few punches coming out of it in IRL, in the tents. Very tense in the tents, of course. But it's Choke versus Steve here. And let's see how they go on. And what are we seeing in terms of lanes? It is going to be the ES on the off lane, interestingly enough. And it's going to be the Tusk roaming around, which I do kind of like, because Tusk he's just such a strong kind of roamer and ganker early on.
Yeah, Inferno Koi taking a lot of harass. Honestly, that Arctic Burn is just horrendous at level 1 to deal with. And it's going to be the easiest D-ward of Logarithmic's life. Saw the ward being placed, and now Inferno, he doesn't have that ward, unfortunately.
I'm looking here for this bottom room, the side of Steven.
Yeah, no one's going to come and contest this. With the Visage there as well, obviously a hero that can put out a very large amount of damage at level 1, especially when heroes start to group together. So it looks like they're just going to abandon the bottom lane, secure the rune for the Lina on the top lane, and happy days at the start of the game.
Happy days indeed. BWW going to be happy with that start. And yeah, Tusk's just going to look to try and find some of the block here for Meep on this Windranger. Looks like in the mid lane it's just going to be Lina having to find that for her own. So if Antab can pull this off, Meep should have the slightly favourable start here in the mid lane. But it looks like BW's block is good enough, and he's going to be able to maintain some kind of high ground control here. So Lina's going to be very happy with the start. But I mean, in terms of kind of CS potential, Windranger versus the Lina, as you were saying in the first game, Windranger got a very nice attack animation. Lina will be able to nuke down the creep waves, and you know, once she gets that bottle online, she'll have that control. But at the same time, with the power shot, I feel it's a fairly even lane, I'd say, between these two. Obviously, once level 6 comes online for Lina, as you were saying, with the low HP pool, Windranger has got to be careful of that Laguna Blade potential. But we'll see how kind of the mid lane skill varies between Meep and BW in this early stage of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Meep shouldn't really die unless he gets caught by a stun. Same kind of with Lena as well. Unless she starts taking a lot of right-click damage and a lot of harass, then she should be fine as well. So it'll be interesting to see the early stage of the game of whether one of these heroes is able to gain a significant advantage over the other. But I agree with you. I think this would be a fairly even lane for the opening 4 or 5 minutes or so. So it is just going to be the solo Earthshaker up on the top lane. And I mean, what do you think about that? Is it going to be really difficult for him to find XP? He's already managed to find level 2.
I kind of like it here. I think it's going to be alright. I mean, obviously Nepali has got the net available if he decides to skill it here at level 2. So they've got some kind of control, but other than that, I mean, the slow from the Arctic burns there, but anytime that kind of comes out and they start to pursue the Shaker, he's just going to be able to turn around, drop a Fisher, and that should be more than enough to buy him time to get himself a good distance away from the tri lane here. So it's going to be interesting to see how much they can really achieve on this trial, and obviously Naga with the pools going to try and find out what he can as much from the jungle. You know, once he gets the illusions online, maybe we'll see him start to stack some of the camps here, potentially for Lena, of course, with the light strike and the Dragon Slave can back off to really get a kind of early foot up in the game. I mean, at the same time, they're looking at the offlaner for Choke Day on this Darkseer. We saw how well the Darkseer kind of managed to do in the series there between Rhyme Stack and Ufrag early on, and I feel just again in this situation Darkseer is going to have a great time.
Yeah, he should be fine. You'd imagine that Tusk is probably going to roam around early on. Obviously Tusk is one of those heroes that can, like Fisher does, you know, he's got the ability to change the map, if you like, with the shards and make blocks and really cause issues for the Darkseer with Surge. But if he roams around like we probably expect him to do, then yeah, Darkseer should be absolutely fine. He shouldn't be in any trouble.
I'm going to try and go for this. I like this as well. They've gone in at a time where Infernacoy is just short on the mana for the Fisher, and I talked about the fact if he had a Fisher he might be able to save himself, but without that Fisher available, nothing he can do when they go in like that.
Yeah, that's very, very easy. Quick check of the mana on the Earthshaker and you realise that it's the easiest kill of your life, especially with the net and obviously the static link as we've mentioned as well, and they were able to find that kill very easily. Meanwhile in the mid lane, Meep getting a little bit low, having to pop the salve already, so a lot of harassment coming out here from BW, and he has taken a slight lead in terms of CS as well.
He has indeed. He's found that slight edge there as we saw them bullying out the Wind Ranger, forcing him back, forcing him to use that salve. And we'll talk about bullying. Logarithmic positioning himself very aggressively there. Just in between the creeps and Infernacoy, making sure Earthshaker gets as little as possible from this lane. At the same time, Day, he's been forced back to base, and he himself has only managed to find level 2 here at this moment in the game. So both offlaners having a bit of a tricky time, but understandably so when both sides are running safe lane tri-lanes.
Yeah, definitely, and we need to start looking towards this mid lane now as well, as in the next couple of waves we're going to be seeing the level 6 come out for BW, and at that point I think they could definitely look to make a kill, especially if there's any kind of setup as well. I mean, we've of course talked about this Naga Siren, the setup with the static link. We've also got that potential there with the Light Strike Array as well, so it could be really, really strong as soon as that ultimate is online for BW.
Yeah, BW's got a haste stream bottled up as well, so he should be able to find level 6 here, potentially with a couple more creep waves. And yeah, he's actually popped that haste stream straight away here, so he's not going to save it to look to go aggressive when he's got the Lagoon Blade online. And it looks like he just wanted to get the charges out. Yeah, it was a little bit low on mana, so topping himself up. And it's actually going to be a rotation here from Antab and Dread, the Steve Knight, on his Visage.
Yeah, nice rotations from the supports. They're expecting the level 6 to be very, very soon from the Lena. They're probably expecting a gank from the Naga Siren as well. Obviously missing from top lane. Has been stacking in the jungle, and well, we're actually going to see the shackle perfectly done onto the creep. Straight onto BW. The stun's going to come out, but is it going to be enough? The power shot is there. They're going to be able to find the right clicks. The return now coming in. Naga Siren is there. The minus armor from the Riptide is going to be able to find the return kill onto the Tusk. And now Logarithmic, he's going to be able to cold embrace himself, keep himself alive for the time being. And well, Dread, he doesn't really have the points that he needs from that soul assumption to be able to find the kill.
Yeah, they're going to be happy with that one for Steve. I think, you know, obviously they lose the Tusk, but finding the kill onto BW.
Exactly.
It's a very favourable trade there for the Radiant.
Yeah, definitely. Bringing down the mid laner, always worth it for a trade of support, and it was just set up by that perfect shackle shot coming in from Meep.
Well, noting of course that Lena now 6 has got that Laguna Blade, so Meep's got to be a little bit careful here, sitting 400 health. I mean, a Dragon Slave and a Laguna would finish him off at this point, so. And out bottle charges here as well. 30 seconds until the rune spawns. So Wind Ranger's going to be able to be a little bit careful here with his placement. Bottom lane. Looks like they found Day. They moved in. He's going to look for the TP out, and that might just have been the smartest move he's made.
Oh, the damage from Visage.
Soul Assumption indeed, finishing him off. But I think the TP was the best thing. I mean, if he walked down anyway, he would have been taken out by the Visage. It was best to do what he did, hide in the trees there.
And he was close. He was really close. But Soul Assumption, that damage at this early on in the game is one of the reasons Visage is so strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those heroes that we don't necessarily see kind of get favoured by a lot of teams, but if you've got someone who can play it and has the micro capability, and I'm pretty sure we've seen Dread Knight in the past pick this hero up quite a bit. He's obviously fairly proficient on the hero, so yeah, once he gets those familiars online as well, we'll be able to do some, see him do some pretty intense and exciting things across the map. Meep, he's going to find himself this rune here.
Infernicore is actually so miserable up here on this top lane. He popped level 3 about 2 or 3 minutes ago, and he's still not been able to find his level 4. He keeps getting pressured out by this Winter Wyvern. I mean, the Arctic Burn is just so horrible to deal with, especially early on. And,
I like this wraparound as well from Jesus. If the side of Choke can force this lane down and force Infernicore back, I mean, Nepali could jump in. Looks like he's going to give up on that position for the time being and just look to rotate round an alternative route. I mean, back to mid lane, it's still fairly even. 29 for 8 against 30 for 1 between these two. And obviously the fact that Meep was involved on a kill onto BW, giving a slight edge in terms of experience, about half a level in it between the two heroes.
Yeah, no, Meep's having a decent time. He's nearly got the phase finished as well.
Yeah.
And then he's actually going to be seriously hitting quite hard. And Lina is going to have to be fairly careful, just sitting on 3 armor. Does have the double damage, but it's very, very difficult to find a kill onto a Wind Ranger with right clicks because of the wind run potential. And instead, BW is just going to head into the jungle and he's going to start farming these stacks that we've seen the Naga Siren making for him earlier.
Bottom lane, they want to try and go in on today here. Dren and Antab moving forward here. They'll find
shards, they get it
as well. Perfectly done with the soul assumption. That's going to be more than enough to burst him down, and
perfectly done.
And no way you can search yourself away from that kind of gank.
No, yeah, nicely done there. And who did the kill actually go to? Went the way of the Visage again, of course, with the Visage. Yeah,
it's just too much. I mean, how much damage is it? Max charges, damage per charge is 65, so 4 charges at this point of the game. Doing some quick maths here. That's what 260 damage. So
it's pretty good for 2 points in a nuke. Yeah.
And base damage of 20, so it's 280. Okay. And 280 burst magical damage.
Sounds like there might be a little bit of communication issues from the loud TF2 players, I think we could say. I think the tent might be getting a little bit heated.
Top lane, Infernicore turns around with a fish to the face, holding Logarithmic back as he tries to move in there with the Arctic Burn. Back to the mid lane, still just Meep finding the farm. Nepali was trying to get a few levels here. Still not quite found his level 6, halfway through level 4 at the moment. This moment, pretty close here between the two sides. And this game certainly could go either way at this point.
Yeah, now the phase boots are up for Meep, so he's having a decent time. I mean, 8 minutes in for the phase boots, not too bad at all. What do we think we're going to see coming out for the sort of first main item for the Wind Ranger? Are we going to see something like a Blink Dagger? Are we going to see a Maelstrom? Maybe just the slash his way straight into the Aghanim Scepter? I mean, what do you think?
Aghanims could work. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him get something like a Force.
I think a Blink or a Force would be quite nice, especially for the chase ability, especially with the Queen of Pain. He is in trouble right now, though. They do have the ultimate as well from the Lina. The stun's going to be there. He's going to try and throw the ultimate out. It's not going to be a nerf, and that's going to be a very, very easy kill.
TP's coming in, but it's a little bit too late. Won't be able to do anything in response as decided to choke her out of there. And very clean cut kill. Managing to find the Wind Ranger and getting the Lina involved in that.
First time we've seen the combo as well of the Light Strike Array from the net setup.
Works very, very nicely. Not a lot that the side of Steve can do against that. Obviously, when they get the Tusk involved, he's got the snowball around. You know, can pick them up, get them, and save them from that combo. But
it's also quite a big disengage tool as well if they decide to set something up with the Naga Siren. If they can get the snowball in the perfect position, then they might be able to make some huge game-saving plays. But we'll have to wait and see. Level 6 is up and on Gronas now. We haven't seen him use that yet, but expect to see him probably look to try and set up a gank and see if they can find themselves a kill with the burst damage that he's now possesses. And well, with the supports rotating around, it's allowed Inferno to be able to nearly pop level 5, but he might be in a little bit of trouble as BW comes up here, and well, that was the easiest kill. A lot of damage.
With the old plasma field bursting him down right on the tip. And Meep just continuing to push on the mid lane. Gronos with the haste rune. Was trying to see if he could find someone with the Sonic Wave, but the side of Choke playing a little bit too careful to be caught out at this point, and Nepali and Logarithmic sticking together here in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think both teams have done a decent job of zoning out the offlaner, but Day has been able to find a little bit more. Obviously, he's managed to find more CS as well with the Iron Shell. It was one of the great things about Darkseer. And He's doing fairly decent, about to pop level 6, and then we might see some sort of action. I suppose Darks is the kind of hero that kind of like sits in the lane for the first 10-15 minutes and just gets as many levels as he can, because you don't really want to be putting points into that vacuum too early on until you've maxed out the Iron Shell at least, so you can at least farm the jungle and roam around the map, find as much farm as possible. Inferno, however, he is going to be joining in as soon as he probably hits that level 6 and trying to look up to set up kills, especially with the amount of damage that they've got from the Queen of Pain, Visage, etc.
No doubt about that at all. I mean, bottom lane, we're seeing a push coming in from the side of Steve. Choke aren't going to do anything in response. They're going to let that one go. Dager's still hanging around, trying to find what he can from the lane. Coming up to his level 6. And just a little bit ahead of Inferno Koi, about 1 level advantage against the ES offlane. And again, I mean, look at this. He could die here. I think he is. Yeah, he's already used his Fissure. One more right click from Dupes is going to do it there. TP reaction will come in from Gronos. Sonic Wave's thrown out, blinks forward, trying to find Dupes. But the corner brace is there now. Gronos, he's out of mana, and he's blinked aggressively. We'll be able to walk this one off. Dread's coming in here.
Oh, the song.
They could maybe... Dupes is quite low, has got a static link available. Gronos will be able to blink himself out. Oh, the net comes out, holds him in place. That's one down. Dread trying to run away, but BW here with the movement speed for the Fiery Soul. Oh, the stick charges.
Dragon Slave, it misses.
The
bomb with the razor.
Plasma Field does not, though. Meat, power shot coming through. They found the courier as well here as well, so 2 kills.
Oh, Inferno Koi comes back in with the Fissure, manages to find the razor.
He's got a Laguna Blade, BW, but Light Strike going to be off the point. Inferno Koi gets out, but they get 2 kills, they get the courier as well. They do lose the Wyvern and the razor off the back of it. They might lose BW as well with the Fissure there. They've got the setup there for the shackle shot.
DD as well over on Meat. Easy kill with the focus fire. Might only be level 1, but when you've got a DD, that surely negates a lot of the damage.
This is nicely done. I mean, Choke, it looked like a very favourable fight for them, but yeah, Steve turns up with the team, and yeah, as you said, Meat there, able to help them clean up, and it looks like he's going to be going for the Aghanims first this game. Just coming to over the 1k on top of the point booster, so he'll have that online soon. Gronos, he's found Day, and with 4 points in the screen, he might just try and go for this one. He's going to go for the TP out, and it's a smart move. Gronos, he looks for it, but he's already out of there. Very nicely done there from Day, saving himself what looked like a inevitable death. And Meep and Antab just pressuring on this top lane. Tower's pretty low. TPs are actually going to come in from Choke, and it looks like they might just try and defend this one. Maybe look for the deny, which they are not going to get as Visage gets the final touch there with the Familiars. And all in all, this game fairly close between these two sides. It certainly could go either way at this point, 13 minutes in. In the jungle now. Meep. And Antab, they're going to go for it. There we go, straight in, and they managed to get the stun onto BW as well. BW trying to turn this. Looks to the Light Strike, but again, the Light Strike just a little bit short. They're going to blade onto Meat, but they don't have any follow-up, and now with the Fissure, Meat just might try and come back in on this one. He has got a Shackle Shot available for 5 seconds. Looks for a power shot, but the net's come from to Meat. Now Meat could be in trouble. Light Strike's there. Meat getting low. He'll fall, ends up losing his life, and now it's Inferno Koi on the retreat. Plasma Field coming out, will touch him just on the tip. Nepali's got a net in 2 seconds. If they can find onto the Shaker, they might be able to find this to get the vision. They will get it. The Fissure comes out. Ice Shard's actually blocking Inferno Koi off, and Tab! Why did you do that? He's got a snowball available. Maybe he can save him anyway. No, the Plasma Field is there. And unfortunately there for the side of Steve, and Tab's Ice Shards just spelling his own teammate's demise there, blocking him off in the mid lane.
I don't think anyone told Antab about friendly fire, because that was an absolute disaster. I mean, those Ice Shards just completely blocking the Earthshaker off. I mean, maybe he didn't realise he was going to turn around for the Fissure, and he was thinking that the Earthshaker would be up and over the hill.
Dupes, they might find something here. Looks like Antab trying to redeem himself, going in with a Walrus Punch as well. Dupes, he's fairly tanky though, might be tanky enough here. No, the Visage Familiars are looking to finish him off, and they will do indeed. He'll go down. Windrange actually managed to find the kill there with a power shot. Antab taking a lot of damage here from the Naga Illusions. Now with the Winter's Curse as well, holding Antab in place. They want to try and find this kill. One more right click from Logarithmic will do it, but he can't quite get it. Now with the Fissure onto Logarithmic, the Scream as well. Shackle Shot won't connect, doesn't matter. Logarithmic's down. Wall's being dropped. Dread moving forward here with the Soul Assumption. Day's going to fall as well. 3 heroes to drop on the side of Choke Gaming. And this is a pretty full-on game, and I've got to be honest, this is the closest game we've seen today so far.
Yeah, the Visage Familiar is doing so much damage in that fight. No one really focusing them down, and they were just putting out damage left, right, and centre. Very, very nice trade there for Steve.
And they should get the tower off the back of this one as well. Pushing in on the mid. Illusions being sent in. And we've got to note this Naga's doing pretty well. 15 minutes in, has the mech complete. Very close to having the... very close to having the mech. Has the arcane boots complete. Can they get the deny here? Oh, they do indeed. Dupes there with a cheeky slap of his whip. Razor will find the deny. But this is a close one. This could go both ways. No, worth noting though, Meat closing in on the Aghanims, and 16 minutes in, this is going to be pretty good timing surely for the Wind Ranger.
Yeah, this is going to be very decent timing. Hasn't decided to go for a big item like a Blink or a Maelstrom first, going straight in for the Aghanims. And this is just going to mean that he's able to constantly spam out the focus fire. So if they ever find anybody out of position with that low cooldown, they can constantly look to blow people up. And it just allows Meat to be involved in a lot more kills early on as well, which is obviously going to help him farm. Because Wind Ranger isn't the fastest farmer. You don't really take stacks too well. The power shot is obviously fairly helpful, but it's not as good as anything like a Storm Spirit or an SF. So being able to be involved in kills is definitely going to be Meat's priority. Yeah,
and I really like this build as well from Gronos. Going straight for the Aghanim Scepter, 800 gold off it. I mean, with the amount of fights that are happening, having that ult available with that extra damage as well, it's going to be perfect. We're 16 minutes in. There's been 10 kills on one side, 9 on the other. The fighting has been incredibly frequent here, and if you can get a good timing on that Ags, that's going to be very, very favourable for the side of Steve.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, not going for the Orchids, going for the Aghanim Scepter, as you mentioned, it looks like they're probably going to group up and look to try and push towers and take team fights, rather than have a Queen of Pain that's going to go around and look for solo pickoffs. Well, there is the Light Strike Array, actually slightly mistimed. There is the Winter's Curse now. Have they got the damage? There's going to be the Laguna Blade. Gronos in trouble, turns around, maybe looking to see if he can find a return.
Oh, they've got a Snowball, maybe that would have set it up. The Sonic with the power shot, but no, the Cornet Brace comes out just in time to save BW from that one. The Shackle Shot comes out though. They'll find the Lina. Can they find anything more here? And Tabami moving forward onto Logarithmic, but Dupes there is getting incredibly nice static link now with the song. Perfectly done. Look how much damage this guy's stolen. 196, 224
no Wind Run available
damage.
either.
These guys are in so much trouble. The Shackle Shot though is massive. It catches them out. Meat might just get himself out of there. The plasma field's not going to be big enough. The Shard's actually blocking the team off. And even though Antab goes down on the Tusk, those shards there saving the life of Meep, who looked in so much trouble with that 224 damage stolen.
That Shackle Shot was absolutely perfect. And I mean, they still lose heroes, but the fact that Meep's able to get himself out means that he continues the game, having only died twice. I genuinely thought he was going to be going down there, but he survives. He gets himself out. 5 kills on the board now as well. 80 CS, not too bad. And he's now got the Aghanim Scepter up and running and is working towards his next item, which is probably, if we're going Slash's way full on, it's probably going to be something like the Chrysalis into the Deadless.
Okay, I'd like to see that. A little bit of damage, a little bit of action. Big items coming out elsewhere. Darkseer does now have the blink. Inferno Coin is Earthshaker. He's only about 200 gold away from his own. And of course, Visage Dread Knight did pick up the Midas, so he's going to look to try and almost certainly get a decent timing on the Aghanims off the back of that now, and has 1300 gold on top of it as well. So we're seeing pretty much good item progression from both teams across the board. And in terms of the gold difference, it's not a lot. It's 1k gold. It's 500 XP. This is an incredibly close game. If anything though, you've got to probably favour the side of Steve, because you look at the map control, they've not lost a single tier 1, but they've managed to take all the tier 1s from the side of Choke 18 minutes in.
Yeah, they're doing a really nice job of just taking objectives after they find any kind of pickoffs. And well, I mean, Choke won game 1, but Steve looking to try and get themselves back into the game, take it to a game 3. Disco lights going off in the casting room.
Mid lane, they're grouping up here. They know that Steve are looking for something. Gronos with this Invis rune, 4 seconds. That's going to be the go time, because that's when Sonic Wave is back online.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's very close to the Aghanim Scepter as well. And well, with BW heading up towards the high ground. He's getting spotted out though. They do have the ward there that's giving them vision, so they know that BW is off farming the large camp. So they look to try and make a go while he's occupied. Doesn't look like it for the time being. I mean, a lot of heroes sat around this tier 2 in the mid lane.
They're going to let it go, and I kind of just feel that Steve as a team, they feel a bit more strong. Oh, hang on.
Day.
What's he
got?
Day.
Let's have a little cheeky look. Not the mech, because we've obviously got that being built by the Naga Siren, which means he's able to go straight in for a Blink Dagger, which is going to allow you to perfect setup for things like the Winter's Curse.
Meep just getting forced back. Yeah, as you said, just in terms of teamfight contribution and the setup potential, it's going to be very, very nice. What did Razor go for in the end? Okay, so he's picked up a Sanj here.
So probably the Sanj and Yashi coming out with the band of Elfskin there already.
At this point of the game, 20-odd minutes in, if you've got Treads, S&Y, Drums, and Aquila, that's pretty much your best bang for buck at this point of the game. Because your stats across the board, all round. But it is kind of a mid-game oriented build in the sense that if it then goes later, You suddenly look at heroes like the Wind Ranger who are going to have the Ags and a big damage item on fairly shortly. You know, you've got the Quap with the Ags who's going to start putting on her next big item. And you have the potential of the Razor suffering if you lose some of these coming up fights. But it looks like they're going to do their best. Yeah, going for the smoke. And this is the best thing that they can do here at this point, because they need to find a jump. And if they can get a good jump and a good initiation with the Blink Darkseer, it could be very easy for Choke to take a successful fight.
Oh, there's going to be a 5-on-5. There's a lot of heroes here. Meep already looking for the Shackle Shock. Not going to latch. Now the Yule's into the air. Is there going to be the Light Strike of the Ray? There is. Infernocore. He's going to get instantly blown up with the Winter's Curse as well. Over onto Meep. The Laguna Blade coming through. The Snowball not there in time. 2 heroes down already on Steve. The Snowball's going to come rolling in, but he's just rolled him into danger. Antab's in all sorts of trouble. He's going to go down. 3 heroes down. BW with the triple kill.
Perfectly done.
OD.
I mean, it was absolutely perfect. You know, the fact that we saw, you know, kind of Naga rotated around on her own, threw out a net, so suddenly the side of Steve, they move towards that choke point. They try and get themselves through their own jungle, working towards the steps, but at the same time, Choke is smoked up. They go straight down the mid lane, and they find that initiation. They jump in with the vacuum. They've got the follow-up of the Winter's Curse that was thrown down to the back of the fight to stop the rest of Steve initiating, and the fact that they got that Laguna Blade kill before Tusk was able to save his, you know, was it the Wind Ranger got bursted down by the Laguna?
It was the Wind Ranger that got bursted down.
Which is massive. If you take the Wind Ranger out of the fight, and then the fact that Tusk is left on his own, snowballing into the middle of 5 heroes, and what are you going to do as a Tusk? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was perfectly played by Choke. I mean, just, yeah, like you say, being able to pick off the Earthshaker before he even managed to get the Echo Slam out. And then the Wind Ranger as well, who has brought this Agnum Scepter so that she can constantly fight with Focus Fire. So if you burst her down, it's a lot of the damage, actually, of the side of Steve that's gone very, very early on. And, yeah, just perfectly played by Choke. And now they just go back to farming.
Yeah, I don't know if the graph would have kicked in yet, but I guess off the back of that, we're probably seeing the first kind of set off. Yeah, it was 1500. I mean, it has been 1500 in the past for the side of Steve, so still very, very close. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it is just one little fight out of many that have been very, very evenly kind of dispersed, favouring either side. So they're going to need a couple more of those Choke if they really want to try and break away. And I don't think Steve will be feeling too disheartened at this point. I mean, the farm's still relatively good on their cores, as we've been saying with Wind Ranger, second on the board at the moment. And you know, look at the Quap, she's not that far behind the rest of the kind of cores on both sides, with the Agnums now 800 gold as well. It's kind of just going to be a game of who can get that next big item online first, really.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Wind Ranger has been able to find decent farm. Another 2k in the bank, so we're going to be looking at probably a Crystallis coming out reasonably soon. Then you can start seeing a Wind Ranger that is going to be able to blow people up very, very quickly. Queen of Pain, I mean, what in terms of next item are you going to be looking for, Hero D? You've already got the Agnum Scepter online, that is now complete and finished. What do you go for next? As we actually see mid lane, Snowball.
Yeah, he was sitting there, but they had the sentry down. They knew he was what he was up to. Maybe this is the fight where Steve kind of take a favourite one for themselves. Shackle comes through. It's going to latch onto Dupes here. They're going to look for it, but oh! The setup is nice. They've got the song. They've got 4
Where's
heroes
the
in the
Curse?
wall.
No!
They need a light strike. They need a light strike. Oh, the light strike comes in a bit late, but it doesn't matter. Infernocore goes down. Snowball comes out, but Antab will almost certainly fall here. They've found 2. They have already lost the Wyvern, of course, at the start of that fight. Day trying to move it on to Gronos. Gronos hasn't got the mana here for a blink. No bolt charges, pops the stick charges. Now he gets himself out to the east.
If only they had the Winter Wyvern or the Light Strike Array. It was just a little bit too late. I think they just wasn't in the position. Maybe it was on cooldown. I'm not too sure, but if they'd been able to have that, it would have been perfect. Meep with the regeneration rune.
Gronos in a lot of trouble. He's got to blink again.
Oh, the damage. Too much.
Look how fast Dupes is. Bam.
Yeah, Wind Ranger taking down the Naga there as well with the Agnum Scepter damage.
Oh, so okay. So I mean, they get the Naga, but they do lose 4. So again, Choke coming out on top, and that song. I mean, even though the setup wasn't perfect after, it didn't really matter because at the end of the day, Choke still clean up. And again, yeah, it's starting to slowly kind of taper off in favour of the side of Choke, but pretty much 2 successful team fights off the back of each other there for the side of the Dire.
Yeah, I mean, it really was it was like the perfect setup and the sloppiest follow-up I've ever seen, but they still managed to make it work. I mean, if you're going to catch 4 people in the wall in the song, then it's always going to be a good fight for your team, and that's exactly what they managed to do.
And very nicely here for the Lina. You know, she's got the Ag, she's got the Yules, so she has got that setup and that increased burst damage and Antab and the pure damage as well. I mean, the fact that the side of Steve, they probably wouldn't have been looking to build BKBs on any of their heroes anyway, but nonetheless, of course, having that pure damage burst is going to be very, very nice against some of these heroes which have, well, relatively kind of low. They're all sitting around the 1k health mark, so I mean, when you look at the Lina, what level is she at the moment? Closing in on level 16. I mean, 950 pure damage. that's pretty much 90% or 80% at least of most of these heroes' health. That's a huge amount of burst.
Yeah, it is. And I suppose the one good thing for Steve, in fact, with their 2 cores with the Queen of Pain and, of course, the Wind Ranger as well, they did go for Agnum Scepters, so that does beef them up a little bit, makes them a little bit tankier, which is something they desperately need against that burst damage, as you say. So we'll have to see who's able to make the most out of it, whether Choke can find some kills with this Lina, who, to be fair, BW, I mean, he's been involved in 13 kills already. He's doing very nicely.
He has indeed, and kind of across the... It's still rewarding him. He's sitting on 10k net worth at the moment, pretty much par with the Wind Ranger and the Razor. And it's just Quap kind of being the core that's falling behind a little bit. 2k difference in between herself and them. And it looks like, so with this Void Stone, I guess Gronos is trying to go for the long haul and looking for a potential scythe here, or do you think we could see something else come out from it?
Yeah, the
maybe a Lincoln's. I mean, it just get a Lincoln's because of the Laguna, or is it, there's quite a lot of single. Well, I guess. Well, no, I don't know.
I guess by picking up the Void Stone, he leaves his options open.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he didn't go for the Orchid means that he does need a little bit of mana regen anyway to be able to sustain and go around continually farming with Scream. Because he did go, obviously, of course, for the Agnum Scepter first off. So maybe it might just be, for the time being, a casual Void Stone. I would like to see something like maybe the Scythe of Vice coming out. It allows him to jump on people, look to blow them up. And of course, what he can do is he can go into the sort of build where he goes into the Scythe and then straight into the Refresher. And once you've got the Agnums up, it means you've got the two Scythes, you've got the double Blink, you've got the double Sonic Wave, of course, as well. And that'd be a nice build-up, I think, for Gronos this game. But we'll have to wait and see what he decides to do. Meanwhile, BW and Co up here on the top lane, looking to take down this tower. They should be able to take it fairly considerably, but the trade is coming in the mid lane, and when you've got Meep with the Agnum Scepter, oh, the TP's OD! Here we go, the fight!
With the vacuum, if they can find the vacuum here to begin this, they've got Light Strike Array potential as well, and here we go. Yours has been thrown out, the fine Inferno Club is able to walk this one off, finally goes down here. Dude's moving forward onto Meep. Meep gets the Shackle shot off, but the Laguna Blade flies through. Meep getting low. They've already found 2 on the side of Steve. That's going to be a 3rd kill here for the side of Choke, and now they're going to look for Dreadnought as well. Day blinking forward, going to chase this one down here. He's got a Surge available. Should be able to chase this. He's going to look to buff up Nepali, trying to get Nepali in for a net, but his team actually blocking him up here. Doesn't matter, Light Strike connects. That's going to be a triple kill for Nepali. And I've got to say, these songs from the Naga have been pretty massive. I mean, that's at least 2 team fights we've seen just come out on top for Choke every time due to the song initiation, which Steve, they've just seemed to be a little bit unprepared for it both times.
Yeah, when you've got that amount of setup, you've got to be careful. Every time you pressure a tower, especially when a trade like that is happening, if the Naga Siren isn't there pushing the tower as well, you always know there's going to be the potential for the song and then the TP reaction. And Choke just, again, perfectly from Nepali Jesus, just stops everyone in their tracks. The TPs come in, and they just wipe 4 off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I mean, what are we at now? 28 minutes in, 22 to 13. Let's have a look at the gold graph as well. Coming up to 7.5k, so again, nowhere near kind of the difference we've seen in other games today here at I-55, but nonetheless, a difference that Choke are going to be very, very happy with, and especially if they can maintain that lead. And this Naga, you know, her plays are being rewarded. She's got the Greaves, and now she's got a medallion complete as well here.
Oh, the smoke there, and Meep actually right-clicked did a little right-click on the creep in the camp, so he's actually going to dispel the smoke. So it's only 3 of them now that have got the smoke. But this is it. This is exactly what they need to do. They need to try and find themselves a kill, and they're going to find, well, it's going to be Logarithmic. He's going to be completely out of position. He's going to get blown up. The Sonic Wave used for that one as well. There's actually a snowball onto Nepali Jesus. Can they find this kill? There's also going to be the Sigil there as well, and, well, with Gronos jumping in, they're going to be able to find the burst damage and kill down the Naga Siren. So nice 2 kills there going the way of Steve.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very successful kind of smoke there from the side, and exactly what they needed. 2 kills.
Yep.
And at the same time, no Choke. I mean, Razor, top of the network board, and Doopsy's got Ags. Yeah, Ags complete as well. And you're now seeing Hood being picked up on DS, so closing in on the pipe for his team as well. They've got the Greaves on the Naga. If they can get the pipe on the Darks here as well, it's just going to be infinitely harder for Steve to find.
BW is in the trees, and he is hiding, and if Meep sees him, he does! He's in trouble! Easy kill. Shackle, well, if you're standing next to a tree, it makes it very, very easy.
if he missed that Shackle there, I'll tell you what, that would have been something.
Yeah, I think Ice Frog would have been cursed a little bit if that one had missed. And it is going to be the Crystallis after the Blink coming out
after the
now,
Blink,
so
yeah, he went back for the Blink, didn't he? Yeah.
He did.
I mean, his performance has been pretty good so far. What's he seen on? 8 kills, yeah. Died 4 times, 5 assists, so both mid laners being very, very impactful for the sides. And Nepali does have the song available. We've seen what he's been able to do with it so far. Steve are going for a Roche attempt here, and if Choke can turn this...
I'm not sure they can do this, Roshan. They do not have enough damage for this, especially with the Scout as well coming in from the Naga. They've got to be so careful of the song, of course, as well. If they get caught out in the Roshan pit, they could just get completely blitzed. So... interesting choice. Definitely right to decide to skip that one for the time being.
And well, no, it looks like it is going to be that side for certainly. Yeah, she picks up the ultimate orb here as well on top of the Void Stone. So, and she's managed to find a fair bit of gold. You know, sitting on 1100, coming up to halfway through that Mystic Staff. She's going to have it, you know, relatively soon within the next few minutes of this match. If they can find a good team fight, she could have it off the straight up back of that one. But Nepali, they want to look, and his team, they want to look for a team fight themselves. They smoke up, surging up the Naga Siren. We'll find this ward here. I'm going to want to do anything about it and not wanting to give away their position. BW wasn't smoked up. Maybe he's going to be the bait here. Then no. It's actually going to be the D ward there, done by the side of Steve there with his familiars. BW just revealing himself here. They want to try and make the side of Steve go in aggressive on the Laguna, but now onto the Lina, but now Dupe's revealing himself. Getting a very nice static link off here. Shackle Shot will come out. They have trapped him up, but Dupe's a little bit too tanky really for the side of Steve to deal with. Snowball's going to come through, but there's your song set up, and it looks like this may just be Steve sacking Antab. I don't know if they can save Tusk here. They're going to send the familiars in. Dupe's moving forward very, very aggressively. Pipe's being complete, and now, with the vacuum, with the wall, with the Wizard's Curse as well, they've found two. Echo Slam will come out. They'll find the Winter Wyvern in return. Sonic Wave coming through, but they're just a little bit too tanky on the side of Choke. It's a 1 for 3 so far. Meat will be able to blink himself out, and Gronos as well. But the rest of his team not so lucky, and Choke Gaming once again coming out on top of the team fight.
Yeah, vacuum into the Winter's Curse and watch those heroes melt. And now they're going to be able to secure Roshan for themselves as well. So another advantage for Choke. And this game is starting to really fall into their favour. Nepali Jesus again with the setup as well, of course. This time the Song of the Siren only catching out one hero, but maybe Steve should have just, like you said, abandoned ship and left Antab to rot there, because they were really in a terrible position once that Darkseer blinked in.
And Gronos. Look how fast it nearly been able to chase down a Windrunner with Windrun there. Oh, Meat actually coming back into this one. Very aggressive play there, but I don't know if he's going to pay off with the vacuum into the light strike. Perfectly done. Meat gets bursted down. They're going to lose Gronos here as well.
Oh my
God. And Steve, I mean, you talked about it down there, the fact that they should have just let it go. And there again, they just want to fight. And
Antab's in trouble as well. Look at the speed of Dupes. He doesn't even care. There's going to be a snowball, but this is just going to delay the inevitable. Dupes is just going to blitz him down. Now the Roshan will be finished.
And that just seemed like a bit of a frustration play from Steve, trying to fight in a couple of scenarios where it's not going to pay off for them, unfortunately. And this is a massive swing for Choke now. They're going to be able to find Roshan, get themselves the Aegis. And Steve slowly losing grip of this game to the side of Choke.
I mean, two sloppy fights coming out from Steve, and they get punished so hard both times. And now Choke in a very, very comfortable position. I mean, what are the graphs looking like now after those two fights? It must be,
coming up to 10K.
I mean, that's a big swing down, isn't it? I mean, we're looking at coming up to 10K.
They've got to be very careful about these fights that are losing Steve. And I mean, even with the blink on the Earthshaker, we've yet really to see any. I mean, we did see
we saw an Echo Slam down there on in the Radiant Jungle, but it just didn't do enough. The heroes were too tanky. We've got, I mean, Choke have just they're items ahead, and that's the problem. When you're a couple of items ahead, it can make the difference. It can help you survive that a little bit longer, and then you can turn it around. And with heroes like Razor, when they're just lasting throughout the fight, and they've got the constant damage of Eye of the Storm, and they're stealing damage with the static link, I mean, it's really, really difficult to fight into it. And we saw that fight down there as well in the Radiant Jungle, where Meep was able to find the Shackle, but he actually just can't kill the Razor, and that is becoming an issue right now. In fact, who on the side of Steve can kill the Razor?
It's pretty much going to be down to the win range of being able to focus onto the Razor, but yeah, I was just saying, even at that, they're going to need a good kind of full duration of a focus fire really to deal with him, and which they're not going to be able to have the opportunity to do so if the rest of the team are Chokes backing up Dupes, which each and every time they have been, and Dupes is just a bit of a nightmare to deal with at this point. And they find themselves familiar there as well. Easy 100 gold, and they might even be able to clear out more. They're going to look for it, and yeah, with the trees being cleared out by the vacuum, that's going to be 2 more familiars taken down. And has he got a resummon available? He's going to have to wait 28 seconds to do so here, Dread. So
has got a Midas actually, Dread.
Yeah, he went for the Midas into
Axe,
which is pretty farmed. I mean, it's been nice for him, but he's just not been able to do that much in these fights. And And we're just seeing Choke coming out on top each and every time.
I guess the problem is he's getting caught out each time as well, whether it be the Song of the Siren, the Winter's Curse, the Light Striker Array. I mean, he's just not being able to, like you say, do too much in the fights. But I think another smoke now is what Steve need to do. They need to find themselves another pick-off, maybe get a bit of map control back, push into the dire jungle, because at the moment they're just getting out-farmed all over the place.
There they are, and just the graph, has it? No, it's still kind of it's leveling off around the 10k advantage here. And the pace seems to kind of slow down at this point. 28 to 17, 36 minutes in. Dupes coming down to this bottom lane. It is just Dread Knight that's there at the moment, so he's going to be safe to farm. And Nepali, I mean, he's got a Solar Crest and Guardian Greaves now. This is looking very, very good for this Naga Siren. And Dave with the Vlads as well, so all the auras coming out from the side of Choke.
28 armor on this Naga Siren. That's without the Vlads.
Yeah, that's you know, without the Solar Crest.
Yeah,
being used, and I mean the fact as well. If you look at
and now there's also a Shivas as well over on BW.
I mean, yeah, if they want to tank up, if they want to put the Solar Crest onto the Razor, and then you know everything is just not going to be enough to kill dupes.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice decision as well to be able to do that. It's going to help against the familiars because some of these squishier support heroes, I mean even the Lena as well, you can take a lot of damage from those familiars. So just having a little bit of extra armor is really going to help. So I think it's very nice items coming out all round from Choke, and they're now grouping up again. They probably want to take a fight now these major items are online. Here we go. It's going to be a smoke. Is it? Do they have a smoke? The courier's coming in with a smoke. And there we go. Right. If they can find a decent pick off here, they can probably maybe even push high ground.
Let's see who's able to find the jump dupes leading the way here. Incredibly fast, incredibly speedy. They probably need BW there on the front lines to try and find a Yules onto someone if they want to find a pick off. But Steve playing relatively carefully here. Meat. Oh, he might be the one to get caught out here. Oh, they're actually going to dispel the smoke onto Razor, and yeah, they instantly get themselves out of there. They know that there's a full team behind him, and they don't want to be caught out by it. Still some of the team under the cover of the smoke here, but I'm pretty sure the side of Steve are aware that something fishy is going on.
Yeah, very obvious as soon as the smoke was revealed, and Antab did a good job of just getting himself out of there. And now Gronos as well blinks into the trees, also gets himself out. So I guess now the push comes onto this tier 2 tower on the top lane. There is decent ward vision here as well, so they've got the vision in place to be able to take a fight if they want to. Choke up on the high ground. Well, the defense is going to have to be good. Infernicoin, he's got the Blink Dagger, he's got the Force stuff, he has got that Echo Slam online. He's going to have to hit a perfect one.
And Sonic Wave just coming out there to pull the creep wave past, but it doesn't matter. Tier 2's almost sending in a full fortification actually being used here, but this tower's going down, whatever you want to do. I mean, they might find the deny. They won't get it. BW did able to destroy the tower with the Lena. And as you said, decided Choke very well might be wanting to go up to the high ground here.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to force it. They want to try and find themselves a pick-off perhaps first, but they've got that Blink Dagger over on the dark side, so they can get some vision maybe with the Naga Illusions. They can definitely initiate onto the high ground here, and they're just going to stun the Razor up there. We know how tanky he is. He's just going to stun on the high ground and start chipping away at the tower. Now the Illusions are going to come in, and they're just going to start chipping away at some of these support heroes.
There we go, indeed. Down
the
to
siege begins.
Yeah, the kind of the slow siege at the moment. I mean, they want to be very careful because they obviously, as we're saying, with the Blink Echo Slam, with Antab on his tusk, they do have the initiation potential to kick stuff off. But as long as they keep Nepali on the back lines with the song, it's going to be there for that fight reset. Anytime that Steve try and jump out of the base, and just kind of at this point with the lineup that Choke have got, it just feels like kind of draft versus draft. It's very hard for Steve to do anything against Choke in these kind of situations.
Yeah, they just don't seem to be able to find any kind of opening to initiate, actually. I mean, which hero do you initiate onto? Because you can't really kill... I don't think you can kill off the Razor very easily, and then... I mean, you probably want to try and get a kill over onto the Naga Siren, because she's the one that's going to be able to reset the fight every single time. But NepaliiJesus has just been sitting at the back of the fights, just waiting for the perfect opportunity.
And I don't think we've seen a bad song this game, to be fair.
I don't think we have. And, well, now there's going to be a smoke up for the side of Steve. They're going to see if they can find themselves a kill, and, well, it might be your Winter Wyvern going down.
Yeah, nowhere for Logarithmic to run here. Can't get anything off of the Shackle Shot, locking him down. And yeah, he's actually down for 55 seconds here, so 40 minutes in, we're starting to see the hefty respawn times coming out. And we'll see if the side of Steve want to try and do anything off the back of that. I mean, fighting 5 versus 4, when you haven't got the Wyvern here on the side of Choke, who's a pretty big team player here, it's going to favour the side of Steven, and they might just use this opportunity to take a tier 2 on the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, something they're kind of missing now is, Choke, is the fact that they could be taking trades. If they had someone that was a little bit better at split pushing, they could be taking trades, then they can set up with the song as that person TPs back, as we've already seen so far this game, but they don't really have anyone that can just constantly split push. Maybe an anti-mage would have been nice. I don't know if that was banned out, actually, I can't remember. But it is an issue. I mean, it's kind of an issue. They have to take fights to be able to take advantages. And Steve have obviously got the familiars from the Visage, who we saw pushing on that tier 3 tower on the bot lane, has actually managed to do a decent amount of damage onto it while they were pushing on the top lane. So it's something that Choke need to be just needs to be aware of. Split push potential is there.
Look at the Dread Knight trying to deal here with the illusion, but it's actually just kind of bought time for Day and BW to move themselves into position. If they can find the Yules, which they will, should be able to set this one up for an easy kill. They've got a Laguna Blade. It's not even going to be necessary with the punches they're coming from onto Dread. BW now on a killing spree there on this Lina, and very nicely executed.
Yeah.
And with that point boost, is he going to be going for the Skadi here?
Yeah, it's the only thing
I could be going Octarine here.
Or Bloodstone. But I imagine Skadi.
I'd imagine Octarine.
Do you think?
Yeah, I reckon Octarine here.
I'd prefer to see a Skadi coming out. I think
Skadi would be fun. Skadi would certainly. I wouldn't be upset with that. But I don't know. I think he's just going to pick up the soul. But yeah, it's just going to be the Octarine.
It is the Octarine indeed.
Vernicoy's
here. Fisher's there, but I mean, at the moment, Choke doing a very nice job of just spreading out for the time being. They are now going to TP themselves back. Are they going to be able to cancel this?
The Song was setting up there to try and go onto Meep, but Meep gets the BKB off. The net's going to be there to hold him in place, and now the side moving in with the Laguna Blade onto Meep. Meep trying to do what he can to fight up against it, but the damage is just not there. He's down off the map, and they
did get the tier 3 tower.
It's true.
And they're losing heroes as well on the top lane. They've already lost the Winter Wyvern. Now actually the Echo Slam being used to be able to pick off Day. So they lose 2 heroes, they lose the tier 3 tower, and I think Steve just probably played that as perfectly as they could have done.
Yeah, I think that trade went as well as Steve could have hoped for. They say yes, keeping the tier 3 there alive, and as you said, taking one themselves. And 2 heroes off the map for the side of Choke, with Steve just losing the Wind Ranger here at this point. And here we go. Push on the bottom lane here from Dupes. 2.7k gold in the back. BW coming up to 800, and here we go. They're trying to look for a tier 2 here. They are fighting. Yeah, I was going to say it's a little bit risky, and it looks like they just hold off and clear up the jungle camps, as they don't really want to try and go into this without the Darkseer and the Wyvern alive. And I mean, at the same time, you kind of look at the lineup, there's not really that much urgency, I kind of feel, for the side of Choke. I mean, I kind of feel that both teams kind of scale equally as the game goes on, and at the end of the day, Choke has got a Naga, and we all know what that means. He's got 2.7k gold. Maybe the potential for just going Radiance and transitioning into the kind of sleeper late game. We're just going to prolong it, and we're going to get to a point where you just can't push against our Naga.
I think that's not a bad decision. It's something they are lacking at the moment, a little bit of split push and the ability to actually stop the split push as well. And if there's no creeps near any of the Choke with any of the dire buildings, then they'd probably be able to see this game out fairly comfortably. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's saving good for the relic right now.
30-20 at the moment, 44 minutes in. The graph, it's leveled off and kind of pulled back a little bit towards Steve. It's only 6k advantage in gold, 10k in terms of XP. So, yeah, as we've been saying, still a very close game here. And Steve's still very much got the potential to draw that advantage back round to themselves. Roshan's back up. NepaliiJesus has spotted it out. And well, with the song available on the side of Choke, I kind of feel they'll have the easier time going for Roche here. And looks like that is going to be the point of call moving into the pit. They're going to try and go for this one.
Yeah, they've got the medallion. Should be fairly easy.
It doesn't look like the side of Steve are going to be able to do anything in return. They're going to start sending the Visage and the Shaker in. They got Meat moving forward as well, and actually kind of spooked them here. They've actually backed off. Queen of Pain finding a solo kill on today there on the bottom lane.
Oh, Antab tried to TP. He got stopped by the song. He's going to go down.
Meep, does he want to fight? No, blinks out. I was going to say, trying to get himself positioned with a win run. And it looks like Choke might just try and look for more here. If they can find Meep here with the Yules, which is available, Shivas is also online. Nice Fisher. And that might just have saved anything else happening to the side of Steve. And it looks like they will get themselves out. Meep Moving forward, taunting them there with a power shot. And Gronor's coming in as well. Has the Sonic Wave and, of course, that scythe that he did finish off. Blinking forward. Can you find anyone here with a Hex? Doesn't look to be the case. And, yeah, they're just going to get themselves out of this one. One hero down at the moment on both sides. And Nepali, yeah, just about 500 gold away from that relic.
Yeah, they need the Naga. They need the Naga Radiance right now. They just need to be able to stop the pushes coming in, because again, I mean, a fairly even trade, 1-for-1 in that engagement. Fisher, very, very nice, just disengaging Steve and allowing them to escape, but a lot of damage done onto the tier 2 tower on the top lane, so Steve again just finding little tiny differences that may help them win this game.
And interesting on PW, it wasn't actually Ultra, it was what you suggested. It's the Bloodstone here for the Lina. So.
Ah, okay.
So opting to have obviously that consistent amount of mana. I mean, this guy's going to have mana for days. He's sitting on a 2.6k mana pool. And the shorter respawn time is going to be very nicely.
It is as well. Do you think he'll pick up the boost of travel next? Because I mean, he's running out of slots.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
With the quick respawn on the Bloodstone, it is very nice to be able to TP back into the fight. If you get picked off early on, and well, they might be able to pick off some familiars here as well. In fact, they do. Is that all 3 familiars going down?
Oh, no resummon here for 80 seconds. Pretty painful there for Dread Knight. His usefulness is gonna diminish for a good minute or so here.
Yeah, they are looking to try and sneak a Roshan here though, and they're going to be able to do so with Meat by the looks of it. Grave Chill, and of course the Solar Crest, making it very, very easy. Meat with the Focus Fire, and they're going to be able to pick themselves up an Aegis over onto their Wind Ranger, who hasn't really has got the BKB, another 3.5k gold as well. So I imagine we'll probably be seeing saving for buyback, but also the Deadless coming out reasonably soon. In fact, something has been purchased.
Oh, he's just sending it out for the Demon Edge.
Yeah,
he's got enough.
He's got the recipe. He's got the Deadless. So
not keeping any money in the bank for buyback, but yeah, with the Aegis, I guess
the Aegis. Yeah,
he's feeling confident enough to just go full out, and with the Daedalus online, you know, with his item build, he's killing anyone. He's killing, with the BKB as well. I mean, what they got that can go through that? They've got the Winter's Curse to hold him in place, Net as well to hold him back, I suppose. But
Net is going to be nice. I mean,
it's the Naga that's going to be incredibly disruptive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing they need to do, because with the BKB, it's going to be very, very difficult to stop him otherwise. I still think there could be another initiation coming in from Day. We've only really seen it a couple of times. We haven't seen it for a little while. And if he can just pick up the boost of travel. And another smoke. Here we go. This might be the...
It's been spotted out. Nice ward there in the mid lane. They know it's going on. They know it's going on. And look at them. They just go straight back into the base. They don't want to mess around with this one. Keep themselves on the high ground and just make sure that this smoke from Choke is wasted. They'll get themselves. I mean, if they just want to reveal themselves and go for a push, which it looks like they're going to do. They realise that Steve probably had a ward there in use, so Dupes is going to reveal himself. The team is still there. They're trying to look for a potential razor bait, but I think they'll realise in a minute that Steve, they're all in the base. They're not going to be caught out here.
There is 4.2k gold over on this Naga.
Still yet to spend it. Okay.
Maybe just waiting to see how the fight goes. Look at the damage coming in from Dupes though, with the Agnums, and also as well the Assault Cuirass picked up. It does decent damage to that building.
There we go. Ice Shards holding Dupes in place for a little bit of time, but he's fine. Glimmer Caped. Solar Crest coming out as well now with the Cold Embrace. This is, again, kind of similar to that DK game where we see
smoke on the high ground.
Fantastic high ground frontliner. Oh, are they going to... Can they... I mean, if they can find a good jump here. If, you know, the side of Choke just get a little bit too overconfident, Steve could turn this.
They could look to try and do something here. Where's the Earthshaker? He's actually smoked up as well, so Infernico, I think it's going to be all on him. 4-staff Blink, looking for the Echo Slam, but again, it's just the split coming in from Choke. It's perfect right now. The Cold Embrace as well, keeping everybody alive. Tier 3 tower has gone down. The split push is actually coming in with the Visage Familiars on the top lane, but I don't think it's going to be quicker than what Choke can push here on this mid lane.
Yeah, they might even need the Visage back here for the defense, because they could lose racks potentially. Fortification coming out, Meatbam to blink himself out, sitting at half health. And indeed, with the Axe ultimate here from Dupes, that's going to be the melee racks down. And range racks almost certainly falling as well pretty soon. Kronos spots the BKB, blink forward there with the Walrus Punch onto Dupes, but now the song coming out. They've caught Meep. Kronos has got the BKB up with the Winter's Curse there, told him in place. Kronos, look at the damage being done. They find the Quap, buyback is there, will come out. Infernico looking for an Echo Slam, but he just doesn't do enough. That's going to be 3 kills, 3 buybacks here for the side of Steven. They really need to do something with these buybacks, otherwise this could be pretty much game losing for them. Meep getting caught out by the light strike incredibly low. Oh, again, and there with a split blast. Snowball forward here from the Tusk, really wanting to fight it, but Antab in a bit of a bad position. Dupes maybe can turn this one, but it looks like they want to play it safe here, Choke. They're going to back themselves out. They were happy with the fact that all these buybacks came out. The TPs are coming out. Everyone gets away, apart from Dupes, who gets hexed up, and maybe they can find Dupes. This is going to be very nice if they can find something off the back of it, and they do. They get the kill onto Dupes, so it's double kill for Gronos, but it did cost them 3 buybacks, and they did, of course, lose the racks off the back of that. Maybe, though, they can look to try and force down the mid lane, and maybe force some buybacks themselves out of the side of Choke.
Yeah, nice ward being placed on the high ground as well by Choke on that mid lane. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be an instant return coming in from Steve. They wanted to take the fight, and they only managed to find the Razor, but that looks like it's going to be potentially enough to push the high ground for themselves. They're going to go top lane, where the tier 3 tower has fallen, of course. Looks like the Familiars did manage to finish that off. But the Naga Siren already being a pain. Still with a lot of gold. 6.1k gold, 6.2k gold on this Naga.
Is it going to be the surprise relic? I mean, there's the relic.
Well, forget the relic. It's just straight Radiance. Like, just buy the Radiance outright.
Alright, I mean, saving up that gold, I mean, I guess there was still some decisions being made whether it would be the best item choice. I mean, potentially, was there anything else you feel that they could have just been thinking about for the Naga here?
Maybe refreshers. Could potentially have gone in for refreshers. Aghanim Scepter, of course, with the new heal.
Maybe the Octarine, to get those illusions out on a bit
think if you're going to get the Octarine, you have to get the Radiance
first.
So that's the real reason you get the Octarine. Gets the illusions out all the time, but if you're going to have the illusions up all the time, you want that Radiance burn. It's just so useful at being able to push lanes, put pressure on supports. And I mean, maybe the Ags. I think the Ags could have been another option they maybe were thinking of if they really wanted to stop fights. Yeah, and then the big heal that it provides.
I mean, I guess they've already got the Greaves and the Pipe though, so it's a fair bit of.
They do have a lot of sustain already.
They've got a lot of. I don't know if it would have been a little bit too overkill. I do like the Radiance. I think the Radiance pickup's nice. I think this is going to be pretty smart and could potentially be what wins Choke the game.
Yeah, it helps secure Choke the late game. I mean, we're already in the late game. It's 52 minutes. I mean, I needed the toilet before this game started, and I regret not going.
Oh man, those games there,
yeah. We're now going to see the Assault Cuirass coming out from Visage. Very, very farmed, of course, with that Midas. And I mean, when one team gets an AC, you kind of need one for the other team just to even it up. So that is the choice of item for Dread, and it looks like it's going to be another push coming in from Choke. Top lane. Dupes on the front line. Still got a 9-second BKB.
Yeah, of course, well known, of course, the AC on Dupes as well. Going to be there to counteract Visages, and 3.3k gold as well. And, well, Meep is moving in towards the top lane. Pipe has been popped. They're going to look to just go straight in. Shackle not going to connect onto anyone. Sonic Wave comes out, but he doesn't actually catch onto any of the heroes. Dupes just moving in, harassing back the heroes on the side of Steve, and he's just going to look to the racks here, trying to take out the range racks here first. Lotus Orb has been popped down onto him as well, making it very hard for the side of Steve to fight into. And the Radiance causing issues as well. With that mischance that it's applying, War's Punch comes out, but the Winter's Curse onto Meep. They're going to try and burst it with the Laguna as well. Meep getting low. Can they find the kill? War's been popped down as well. Meep is down. As buyback available, Echo Slam coming out, but it's just not enough.
Late.
Inferno Koi is dead. They've lost two heroes down without buyback. Gronos getting caught out by the net as well. Through the BKB with the Light Strike to follow up as well. That's the Quap going down. 3 heroes down without buyback. Dread just walking in, offering himself up to the gods. It's a triple kill for BW, and GG is called. They might even just clear up Meep here as well to celebrate. And a very close game, but at the end of the day, you kind of look at the long term and kind of how the whole game went. There were more fights that favoured Choke, and Choke just played it that little bit better at the end of the day. And I think with the Radiance picked up, it was just inevitable at a certain point that Choke were in it for the win.
Yeah, the Shackle shot in that high ground defense right at the start didn't really didn't latch on. It was a bit of an odd one actually, trying to latch onto the creep when really, I mean, they were a little bit behind there and they needed a 2-hero Shackle. And then of course the Echo Slam as well. It came in the end, but it was so late. It just was nowhere near enough. And yeah, Choke easily won, best of 3. So I believe they are now through.
Yeah, so look at so they beat Just Call Me Steve. So they now go through to play against PSSB.
Seeded 1.
And who else won? Oh yes, this is the top team. This is the top team. And at the same time, we look over at the other kind of upper bracket semi-final. It's going to be Xenix against Terry's Angels. And then what's happening down in the lower bracket at the moment? Looks like there's a fair few games potentially going on at the moment. These games might be happening tomorrow, though, so we'll see what goes on. There's a few teams already been knocked out for good, unfortunately, here. But they, of course, will be able to enter themselves into the ice cream competition, where the players, the winning team, will get themselves free ice cream. So, arguably...
Do we get free ice cream?
We don't play Dota, so, this is reserved for the people who can play, We don't get that
play.
kind of privilege.
We're not that good.
But the players, they can win themselves ice cream, which arguably is just as good as a share of £5,000, depending on how hungry you are when both are offered up at the same time. Because it's a lot of money, but it's not going to be able to kind of cure your hunger for ice cream.
No, well, not instantly anyway. No. I mean, the ice creams here are really. We saw the Gigabyte ice cream man.
Yeah, coming in, it's a serious
little
deal.
chap. Yeah,
coming in is had the whole T-shirt with like Nats ices. This is a guy
sponsored by Gigabyte.
Serious about his ice cream, so you really want to be getting yourself a share with that one. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for that game. There might be more games. We really don't know, so apologies for this, but hopefully you're enjoying the stream here with myself, ODPixel and WakeyPixel. You can, of course, follow us both on our Twitters at the respective tags, /ODPixel, /WakeyPixel. And do stick around, because we might have another game on the way. But we'll see you guys very, very shortly, or if not, tomorrow.